You see, we're not in legal difficulties with our God. We're in the difficulty that we are rebellious and we don't trust him. And on our own, we have made a mess of things. And physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, we are not nearly the people we were supposed to be. And if he were to give us up and say, there's nothing more I can do for you, we would perish. But our physician has not said that yet. There's more time. And our assignment is to go out and tell people there's more time. We have a trustworthy physician. Anybody who now comes in trust can still be saved and healed. But if we are not healed, he has failed. Paying the bill doesn't save us, does it? Unless we're won to faith, then nothing can be done. And I think Hebrews fits in with that. And as you said, it just sums up the things we should have known before, but just puts it in a better way. This is the good news about our God. This is the kind of God we serve. This is all he asks of us if we wish to be saved and healed. And the quality of life in the hereafter is very good news, because this is the kind of God he is. He didn't just keep us when we were good, but when we became his enemies, and so cruel we could even crucify his son, he did not give up, but came down and washed the dirty feet of his betrayer to show what he is like. And this is the everlasting good news, and wins some of us back to faith. And once we're won back to faith, you couldn't trust God without a new heart and a right spirit. So if you trust God, you are converted and you are reborn. Maybe a babe in the truth. Beware lest you be retarded, because that being retarded may suggest rebelliousness. I don't want to grow up, see? And you are turning down milk and you're turning down solid food. For here the physician is offering us more and more that we may grow up, and we say, no, I don't want any of that. Just leave me as a little child. That could suggest rebelliousness and that we are not safe to save. So I think a refusal to grow up could put us in a position where we cannot be saved. It suggests we're cheating, or we're rebellious, or we're stubborn. Well, I'm impressed with reading Hebrews 10 and then going back and rereading Jeremiah, who said the very same things. That God's whole purpose is to bring us to the place where he no longer has to tell us, like children, be good. Because his law will be written on our hearts, and we will be good. You remember in Jeremiah 31? And then Jeremiah says, at that time the ark, whether on earth or in heaven, will have served its purpose, and it need no more come to mind or be remembered. You remember we read that in Jeremiah? An astonishing statement. Why? Because no one will need to tell his neighbor, know the Lord, because all will know me. And my law of love will be written on our hearts, and will do what's right, because it is right in the highest sense of freedom, and that means we've grown up. When people need to be told, please don't all try to go out the door at once, but line up and maybe let the ladies go first. That means we're still little children. And the 10 Commandments were written for people who need to be told not to kill and steal and cheat and so on. And when the law is written in our hearts, we have grown up, and that's Hebrews 5, and that's Ephesians 4, and that is to behave like God. For look how gracious and incredibly polite Jesus was, even with those who so abused him. So be you therefore mature, if you like, be grown up, as Jesus even was in his human form, and he never failed in that. Even in the end, when they put a dirty rag over his head and hit him and pulled it off and said, prophesy who hit you, and someone went out and spat in his face, and he did not get angry because he was a coward. No, Ellen White loves to say, there was in his face no cowardly weakness, but there was the strength and dignity of long suffering. No fear, and yet no defiance in his face. That's very hard to fake. You know, sometimes you may say, well, that little boy certainly is no coward. There's no fear in his face, but what is there? Defiance, boldness and defiance. No, Jesus was not afraid, but there was no boldness, no defiance. That's the marvelous combination, and that's what it means to be mature and to be perfect, it seems to me.